hear me all right? Hello, hello. Today we are talking about 5 social media trends that you cannot afford to ignore in 2024. And it is fantastic to be on with you today. Give me a wave if you can see me, if you can hear me, or a thumbs up if you're just camera off, chilling. But good to have you with us because seriously, there are thousands of people out there who want to buy what you are selling. And it doesn't matter what niche, what vertical of real estate you are in, there are really hundreds of people, and maybe in our local market, thousands might be stretching it a little bit, but I'm not completely convinced either that we're stretching it too far. The thing is, people just don't know that you exist. And that's why social media is so very exciting. People are spending over 2 hours a day on average in the States on social media. It's the new television. We don't watch television the way we used to. We scroll on our phones. People don't get bored the way that they used to. Do you remember what you used to do at the doctor's office, at the dentist office before you had a mobile phone? I barely remember. Like, what do? You just sit, maybe you count the tiles on the ceiling. I used to do that, but people don't do even close to as much of it as they used to. And in fact, they're so involved with social media that you see so much more reckless driving on the road. Let's face it, anyone see someone playing with their phone on social media while they should be driving, right? This is what's going on. It's that powerful, it has that much hold on our lives. I mean, TV couldn't come in the car with you back in the day, but this is what it is. This is where we are. And this is why it's such a great opportunity because you don't even have to pay to play. And I know depending on where you and your business is at, that could be tremendously exciting to get the same kind of visibility that you'd get from, say, a newspaper or a radio spot or a TV spot, except you get to connect so much more often and you get to connect with so much more intimacy. You can even get on a message right on platform with those people from the things that you post in a way that you never would have been able to do with traditional media. And that's why social media is so exciting. That's why I've been so into it. I am a big fan of looking for the easy wins and the winnable games for everyone. And I do believe, even if you hate being on camera, even if you don't think you're good at talking, even if you're not a very social person, or you even don't really like social media that much, there are winnable games for almost every small business owner I can imagine on social media right now. By the way, who am I? My name is Ed Oyama. I make marketing simple for busy business owners. I do that with workshops, one-on-one coaching, and group coaching. And I was thrilled to be invited here by the Palos Verdes Association of Realtors. So with that being said, we're going to talk about the 5 trends that you cannot ignore. And I want you to think as we go through this presentation, which one of these platforms sounds like an easy win for you? Which game is a game that you feel like you'll be able to win? So we're going to go through this and then we're going to have open questions and answers, and let's get it. So first of all, TikTok. How many of you are on TikTok? Anybody here on TikTok? Any of you posting content on TikTok yet? Not really, maybe not. And I think it kind of makes sense because how many of your potential customers, clients are on TikTok watching avidly? Well, you might be surprised to know that while most of us think of TikTok as the Gen Z platform, there are more and more people in their 40s, 50s, 60s using TikTok on a regular basis. I mean, raise your hand if you're a 40, 50, 60 on TikTok watching it, right? So the thing that's really interesting on TikTok right now, though, is that it's becoming in vogue to not be flashy, to not have these amazingly edited videos, but to just turn on the selfie camera and have conversations just to monologue about a point or to tell a story. There are stories about all sorts of things. Recently with the layoffs, a lot of people went on TikTok and told the story of how they got laid off by a company they faithfully worked at for I don't know how many years, doing so many different things in their roles, some outside of their roles, and they just tell stories in a compelling way. And I don't know about you, but I feel like everyone's got at least one good story in them. And I think most likely, knowing who's in this room, a lot of you probably have stories of how you were able to come through for a client or a deal that went sideways, but you saved the day because you are that expert that specializes in what have you for your particular vertical, for your particular niche in real estate, right? And what is going out right now are what I call the read the caption gotcha video. I don't know if you've spent a lot of time on TikTok, but you might have seen these where people will say something really compelling. This is how I made 27 transactions in 3 months. And then it's just a video. You wait for it. And then it says read the caption. And then it ends and it loops. Like that sort of trickery is kind of on its way out, along with a lot of other kinds of trickery. Why is that? I think it's because TikTok, more than most platforms, really understands the way people think and feel. The algorithm is really finely tuned to that. I feel like their algorithm's a bit sharper. And hear this, even if you are not going to post content on TikTok, I would say it is the most important to watch because TikTok is a crystal ball into where every other platform's going. How many of you remember when it was really weird to shoot a video this way with your phone going this way? I would say that change happened in the year 2020. In 2019, you would not see many people shooting videos this way. You would see them shooting it this way. If you shot it this way, people are like, what are you doing? Right? But after TikTok, vertical became the new normal. And if you look on your phone, you'll find it not just on every other thing that we're going to talk about today. You'll find it on Etsy. You'll find it on Pinterest. You'll find it on Amazon. If you go to your Amazon app, if you tap into Amazon and you open it, if you go here and you click on these little stars, I'm not sure if you've seen this yet, you'll end up at a TikTok-like window shopping experience where judging from what you've searched for, it's gonna just show you all these things. TikTok is the crystal ball. What TikTok does, everyone does next. I don't think they're gonna get legislated out of America. That's my opinion. I can't say for sure. But no matter what happens with the law, the House, the Senate, and TikTok, I do think its influence is lasting. And by the way, TikTok is dropping the feature for 60-minute videos. I think that's fascinating to see that we're getting longer videos, even on the shortest content platform that we're going to talk about today. And that I do believe that's a trend. LinkedIn. So here's what's going on LinkedIn. Only 1% of users actually use it for content. How many of you are on LinkedIn? Raise your hand, show of hands. Cool. How many of you use it on a semi-regular basis? Not too many of us these days, right? Like you probably might have used it to apply for a job. And that was until I would say about 2018, what most people thought about TikTok. Or sorry, LinkedIn. This is the place where you post the digital version of your resume. You put all your job experiences, this and that. But what most people have not realized is that this has become a social media platform. You can actually see posts on LinkedIn, just like you do on the other platforms. It's even becoming a lot of a B2C content platform, meaning if you are selling direct to consumer, which I believe most of you in this room are, you're selling to new homeowners, a lot of you, or people that are moving, or people that are downsizing, people going through life changes. Well, that's not exactly what they're talking about on LinkedIn, but remember, business people are people. And as business people who are actually people, they are going through life changes. They are moving, they are downsizing, their parents are getting older. There might be a divorce, there might be a death, there might be a new child, there might be a marriage. right? These things are happening in their business lives as well. They might get a new job, which is why they probably got there in the first place, and they might be relocating. And if you're there, guess how many people are competing with you to speak to those people? This is why secretly LinkedIn is one of the most exciting to me. My competition is not there. And I think given that only 1% of users are actually using it for content, almost nobody's competition is there. So the trick is to learn the platform just well enough to know how different it is from where you might post somewhere else, if you're posting somewhere else, or if you're not posting anywhere else, just to learn a little bit about the platform, get used to it. You can just post text and pictures there. It's kind of like old Facebook. It's kind of like blogging back in the day. Just post a picture and say, this is something that I've been learning lately, and then write something about what you've been learning. You don't post your real estate charts or the stuff from Remax or the stuff from KW, your slides. People don't really respond to that. I'm not sure if they respond to that on any platform actually, but oops, I want to slide forward. But in any case, that's what it is. And by the way, vertical video just came to LinkedIn. It's so new, I have nothing to say about it yet, but it's there. And you're going to get a lot more reach because if only 1% of LinkedIn is doing that, guess how many are doing vertical video? Maybe 10% of that 1%. So Instagram, hey, Instagram is amazing for realtors because Instagram is the most visual and has always been known for being the most visual. But here's the thing that I think threw a lot of us off. Actually, starting from 2020, Reels became the king. Why? Because Instagram, TikTok's the crystal ball. What TikTok does, everyone does. Instagram suddenly got vertical videos too, just like TikTok. And in 2022, if you wanted to get a lot of visibility, that was basically the only way. Yes, there are a lot of other things you can do on Instagram. Stories. You can go live. Actually, live is really cool. I'm not going to go into that today, but all the other features are amazing. But in 2024, what's really exciting, say you never got good at video, say you never liked video, well, photos and text are back. Instagram does sometimes listen to their users, not all the time, mind you, but they heard the backlash against vertical video. And they said, you know what? Let's bring back what we started with. This is what we were famous for, photos and text. And what a lot of people do is they combine it. It's called a carousel. And what you'll get is you'll get several, it's almost like slides where people used to post a series of vacation photos and that was their post on Instagram. Now they'll post the 5 things you need to know if you are a first-time home buyer. Or maybe that's a little bit blasé now, it's been seen, done. Or like 5 mistakes you should never make if you want to sell your house this year. You got to get a little bit tighter, really understand people's pain points and what they're really upset with or what they're really mad about. Like think about in your head, what are the things that really make people upset when working with a realtor? What's the things that they most often complain about? What are the things you fear being known as as the realtor for your customers and clients? You don't want to be that. So think about that. Think about why they hate working with a realtor. And if you can make content that addresses that, if you can make photos, stories, write them in text and post it with a selfie, even that's simple, but you can do that. Tell stories. Underneath all of this, by the way, one of the big trends is just stories. Not Instagram stories, but just being a good storyteller. Why? Because stories are memorable. You think about stories like, if I ask you for the last 3 things that I said that were really important in this presentation, you might remember if I told you stories around them, right? Or if you took good notes. But if I ask you, what's your 5 favorite movies of all time? How did it start? How did it end? What was the big problem? Like you could tell me the point, the gist of a 2-hour movie. This is why storytelling is so very important and why it's so clutch with social media. But by the way, one thing that we're looking at, and this is kind of like storm watch, I'll be your weatherman today. Watch out for this. Pay to play. Meta verified for business is a new thing that they've just opened. And a lot of creators on Instagram are talking about it because when it first came out, the way it was worded made it feel like, and I'm saying a lot of tentative stuff here because none of it is clear from Instagram, They're not making it clear for us. You might have to pay if you want more reach. Some people are really mad about this because they're used to getting free reach just by being good at making videos, right? On the other hand, think as a business owner, does it make sense to you? If I'm going to give you great stuff on my platform, does it make sense that I might charge you money for it? So that's Meta's point of view. That's the Facebook company's point of view. But you do get a lot of benefits for 44 bucks, including if you get scammed and you get locked out of your account, you are actually going to get real customer support with a real human. If this becomes a real part of your business, Instagram or Facebook, and you start getting leads and transactions from it, I would recommend getting verified. I do believe they're not dropping their lower tier of verification, which is only 15 bucks a monthly. But I know people that spend a lot more monthly for different media as realtors. So something to keep in mind, something to keep in mind. Speaking of Facebook, don't sleep on Facebook, as the kids say, right? Still surprisingly good reach for local businesses. Still, I don't see that many realtors using it. Like, I can think of one in the Palos Verdes chamber, Jane Lau, I see very actively on Facebook. She does great too, by the way. Not a bad person to follow if you want to see what her playbook is. But here's the key. Use your personal profile. Don't use your business profile unless you are paying for ads. The business profiles, your business pages, they call them on Facebook, you get very little reach unless you're doing paid stuff. You're opening up ads manager, you're taking out ads, then you'll get reach and it'll be fine. But Facebook's primary use, do you know what most people use Facebook for? This has not been very interactive. If you want to type it in the chat, type it in the chat. What do you think most people use Facebook for? What are they doing on it? Give you one more second. The one thing that they're really doing with Facebook is direct messaging, surprisingly. It's direct messaging. People want to stay in touch with people. And this is the one that people primarily over 40 use, but not just over 40, there's 30s. But whenever I talk to college kids, hey, you on Facebook? Crickets. Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram is where the 20 somethings are, if in case for you feel like that's your market. But oh shoot, I can't actually read chat. Or I can't see. Oh, my mouse disappears when I get to my main screen.
Someone said shopping.
Shopping. Oh, shopping's a good one. Shopping's a good one. Cool, cool, cool. Shopping's good. Meta shopping is very powerful. That's one feature that they've done really well in a way that other platforms haven't figured out how to do. DMs is number one. Keeping in touch with family and friends is number two.
Yeah, that's
They're
what
basically
someone else typed in.
That's what someone else typed in. Good, 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 good. This is where it's at right now. But so that being said, there has anyone here heard of Gary Vaynerchuk? Really big guy in social media. If you try to watch everything he produces, it's impossible. He drops a 30-minute video almost daily, if not 60 minutes. He's a beast, but he's one of the foremost authorities. Watching almost anything he does is great. If you watch almost any of his keynotes on YouTube, here's a quick tip. Most of the keynotes are for either people in either realtors or mortgage that I've seen recently. So he has a lot to say to real estate folks, but using your personal profile is great. And Gary V's approach is what I would recommend. He calls it jab, 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 right hook, meaning don't sell, don't sell, don't sell. Educate, entertain, offer. So I think the thing that I see realtors do that I feel like most likely is not getting them anything is just posting when you have an open house. I don't think that this is a useful way to use social media or just posting statistics. Yay, this is how many homes were on the market in Torrance and in Palos Verdes and in Pedro and Redondo Beach. Interesting, actually. I do believe that's more interesting than the other kind of content. But the thing is, there's no context. And if that's the only thing you ever post, people are going to get used to ignoring your posts. And that means that algorithm is going to get used to not showing you to anyone because people don't engage anyway. By the way, if you leave me your name and email in the chat, and I will probably be able to see it once I stop sharing, but leave me your name and email. I will send you a document that I wrote up that I'm not covering today called The 3 Things That every social media platform wants, or this is probably the better title, how to get everything you want from social media. Because basically, when you give the platforms what they want, three things, you'll get basically all that you want, as long as you play the game long enough. So that's that. But use your personal profile, post baby pictures. Everyone loves baby pictures. Post barbecue. Everyone loves food. Oh, we had a Memorial Day barbecue. It was lit. This is the hot dog. This is my dad falling into the pool. People love that kind of thing, you know. Post pictures of the kids graduating. Hey, it's graduation season. Or you visited your friend's kid's graduation. You don't got kids graduating? Cool. Go to your friend's kid's graduation. Guess who's going to comment? All of your friends' kids' parents, right? And is that your ideal market? If it is, pay attention, right? Do that sort of thing. Post this kind of stuff and then post. Hey, I've got an open house. Hey, I'm doing a webinar. Hey, we're actually doing a thing at the office. If you're getting older or if you have parents that are aging, we're going to be answering the 5 things, the 5 conversations everyone needs to have with their aging parents while you can. Because nobody has these conversations. Nobody has them well. We're going to give you tips and advice and have a Q&A with some experts in the area. Maybe, I don't know, get someone from Merrill Gardens, right? Get Jennifer to come in and to talk to people and say, hey, and then do it as a collab. Because, hey, if you are, even if you're not like SRES, you could still be talking to families with seniors who might need to downsize, move them over to a nice other place. Maybe Merrill Gardens might be not in their reach. Maybe it is. But you get to have conversations. You never know until you know. And when you sit down and you have a forum like that, that's a great thing to do. I would recommend workshops, by the way, if you can. I think those are a great thing to do. And in person, maybe over webinars for you guys in real estate, because, you know, it's all about relationships. And relationships get built so much faster in person. And if you, by any chance, are good at vertical video, and if you love making these vertical videos, Facebook Reels is actually a lot easier game to play than Instagram. Why? Supply and demand. There's way too much supply on Instagram, so it's super competitive. But here's the funny thing. On Facebook, the demand is just as high as on Instagram for video, but the supply is so much lower. So you're going to have a lot easier time getting traction on Facebook. Considering your ideal client, your ideal customer, if your ideal customer leans older, especially think about Facebook. But that's that. YouTube. And this is one that your current president is a complete boss at. Look at what Jason Buck does on YouTube. Check him out. But what I do appreciate about what he's doing is I feel like he keeps it really simple. And that's just one element of the game. Actually, all of the games on social media make stuff that you feel like you can do easily. Don't make the stuff that feels hard to you. Make the stuff that feels easy to you. I did a consultation with him, and one thing I can tell you, I don't want to give away all his secrets, of course, but this is not something that's hard for him. The kind of video that he creates. So if you go to his channel, check it out, you'll see what kind of videos he creates. But the thing that's really cool about YouTube is your content lives forever. You can get views months and years after publishing. This is not really trends at this point. I guess the trend to say about YouTube is that it's always been good and it's still good in 2024. Probably better than it's ever been, because since 2020, all of us started doing a lot more YouTube. But what I would say is make the videos that feel natural to you, easy to you. Let's say you love talking numbers. There are realtors on YouTube, you can find them, that have built really healthy channels talking numbers. And you might also push back on me a bit and say, what if they're not in California even? What's the point? Well, are people still relocating to California? That's not something to neglect, you know, like this is possibly a great way to be really known even out of state. Because how do you even get known out of state for being a great realtor in Palos Verdes in the South Bay, right? So, but you can get views months and years after publishing. I don't know this guy. He's not my client, but the funniest video I've ever seen on YouTube, I'm going to call this dude out all day. I think his name is Kevin Buck. I really want to meet him in person. He seems like a great guy, but he made a video years ago called How to Sell a Home in the South Bay. And if you go on YouTube and you type into YouTube, how to sell a home in the South Bay, this guy years later is still the #2 video. And I am just begging all of you in this room to go on Zoom, record yourself over a slideshow, and take that guy down because his website doesn't even work anymore. I was like, but here's the thing. That guy is not only the #2 video. What does that even mean for his business? 6,500 views. That's what it means for his business. And he was still getting views today. That's wild. For a realtor that I'm not even sure is in business because his website's broken, that's pretty incredible. But one thing I would say, make sure you do have working links in all of your profiles and all the things, because how are people going to get a hold of you? Of course, you could put your name, phone number, email on the videos. And actually, that's not a bad play either, especially on YouTube. I think that looks great on YouTube. But at the same time, make sure that in your profile on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you decide to be active, LinkedIn, you have a link to your site. If your agency has any sort of lead generation tool, a very good one that I like a lot for you guys is, what's the true value of my home? That question, as a non-realtor, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, what is the true value of my home? When anyone says that to me, I'm like, yeah, has it gone up? Well, I bet it has, but has it? It's a question for me. So plug in a link for that. But because this is often overlooked, if you type in something like how to sell a home in the South Bay, and by association, think how to sell a home in Palos Verdes. It sounds so terrible to write that. Like, who's going to type that? But people do. So if you see that people are getting good views on their videos, when you type something like that in, especially if they don't, oh, here's the secret. Type in the word, how to sell a home in the South Bay, and look at who shows up. If they're getting more views than they have subscribers, that is an easy win. Because that means they're not a professional at YouTube. That means they got lucky. And what does that mean for you? You can be lucky too. Just look at what he says and say everything that's changed since that guy made his video, and call yours 2024. How to sell your home in the South Bay 2024. Let's take down Kevin. I want to see someone in this room take down Kevin. I promise. I honestly, at least I think that's his name. Sorry if he's not Kevin, but not totally new, but consider also shorts. What are shorts if you don't know? YouTube's version of TikTok. It's everywhere. But that's that. And I'm going to kick into Q&A in a second, but real quick, some larger trends that are affecting everything everywhere, not just platforms. ChatGPT, AI. Anyone here on ChatGPT? Yes, yes. I love to see it. I am actually doing a presentation tomorrow in Redondo Beach at Mesh Space. If anyone wants to come out 10 a.m. PCH and Prospect, it's free, by the way, if you're Palos Verdes Chamber member. So bonus if you're in the chamber. If not, I highly recommend the chamber. I'm a member, but it's only 20 bucks if not. And you get a free day of co-working at a beautiful co-work space boutique. And you also get free coffee, and they're good coffees. But ChatGPT, the reason I'm hype about ChatGPT is I believe, and I'm not alone, this is the biggest technology we've seen, not in our lifetime, but maybe in all our lifetimes, our parents' lifetimes and beyond. The people that study AI deeply, they say this is the most profound technology since electricity. So if you think about the difference between life with electricity and life without electricity, this is what people are saying about AI that really know their stuff. The other funny thing that someone said, I think it was Sudeep, he has a vested interest because he's the Google guy. He is the CEO of Alphabet, Google, but he was saying, no, this is the most profound thing, not just since electricity, since fire. So if you have a hard time thinking about life before electricity, I have a really hard time thinking about life before fire. But ChatGPT is that big. Highly recommend you just try out the free app on your iPhone or Android and just mess around with it if you haven't yet. That's the easiest way to get started. But as far as AI is going, super underused. I've done this ChatGPT talk twice, 3 times actually, in different rooms. It's never more than 60% of people that are actively using ChatGPT. Affluent business owners, less affluent business owners, doesn't matter. I didn't give this presentation, but I watched the presentation live in Culver City at the Recurring Revenue Conference. CEOs, startup investors, packed room of these kinds of people. How many of you are using AI in your regular life? Still 60%. It's 60% across the board. Doesn't matter who you are. How many of you using it weekly? Over half the people will drop their hands every time. So, what does this mean for social media? A lot of people are using it to create content. Volume of content is way up. That's completely AI generated now. And you'll probably get to realizing a lot of photos and videos you might be watching are actually AI. But here's the thing, when it's made with AI, personality goes down a lot. And you might not notice it at first, but you'll notice it the more you see it. Authenticity is a new opportunity because this AI stuff, at least with our current generation of AI, it doesn't have the same personality that you have as a person. Also, this is why long form content, 2+ minutes, is on the rise, I believe, because AI can't fake the funk for more than 2 minutes. Nobody's going to watch an AI movie yet. It's not that good of a technology. Don't ask me about life in 3 years, though. Maybe it will. I'm not so sure we have a monopoly on good ideas as movie makers and as a human race. What platforms are best for you? 2 things to think about. Branding, you should be probably active, if at all possible, on at least 2 platforms. But for most people, 2 is the limit. So that's why I say 2+, not 3, not 4. I believe it's really hard to be good at more than 2. I believe you can be on all of them, and I am, but I try not to be good at more than 2 at a time. And I kind of switch up between my 2. One season it was Facebook, Instagram. This season it's Facebook. Gonna get into LinkedIn again because I'm doing more coaching this year. But systems and workflows will save you. If that doesn't make sense, book a free call with me. But you want to have systems in your head or on paper, even better on paper, but at least in your head. What's my game plan? How am I going to play this game? What am I going to try to do? Build brand recognition, get recognizable. And it will build brand faster when you're on more than one because they might see you on more than one, right? The more chances to get seen, more tickets in your lottery of finding that person that's in just the right situation to do business with you. Goal. When your goal should be, though, whenever you make something on social media, make something that someone would want. And if you have trouble figuring that part out, think of the last person you talked to on the phone and make a piece of content, whether it's a photo with a caption or a video, and write it for them. This is for Laura, who just called me and says, actually, I'm not sure if I want to sell right now. She backed down. You know, this is for the person that's really upset with the escrow process. This is for the person that asked me, why should I stage my house again? It feels like a lot of money. This is for you. Hey, I just got asked this question. Just get on your keyboard and write furiously with all the passion that you would reply to that person. No, we have to stage your house. If you, of course, assuming you feel strongly about that. I could be wrong, but whatever you feel strongly about that someone said to you or talked with you about, or something you love, or retell the story of how you sold that last house. Don't just post sold, yay, because that's a post that I sometimes see realtors do. That's not bad, actually, but post what you did, tell that story and tell it a few times. Only 10% of anything you post on these platforms ever gets seen, which is kind of a bummer on the one side, but that means too, I don't think of it as a bummer anymore. What I see when I see that is like, oh, great. So that means I'm going to run reruns. I'm going to post the same content multiple times, remix and repost. I'll change it a little bit, or I'll keep it exactly the same. I'll send it out next month. Doesn't matter. Nobody saw it the first time anyway. 90% of my followers didn't see it. Cool. I've got content for the rest of the year. Awesome. I'll do it again and again. And I'll make sure it didn't do well because the algorithm, or it didn't do well because of people not actually liking it. So repost your stuff. When you make something that hits, success leaves clues, put it up again in 2 weeks. No, maybe 1 month. Let's say 1 month, and see if it happens again. Lightning can strike twice on social media. Actually, that's one of the best things you could do. When lightning strikes, make more of that. And when you think about your platform, think about what are you best at of these four skills. Writing, is that what you like best out of these four? Discussing things, do you love getting into conversations with people? Facebook groups might be really, really good for you, especially if you love just hanging out and discussing things in general. I recommend realtors put "I'm a realtor" in really big letters on their Facebook profile, personal. Put a picture of you over at Keller Williams or over at Remax or over at Berkshire Hathaway. Put that up on your banner picture on your profile, because only strangers look at that anyway. And then go chop it up in Hermosa Beach Residence Forum. Go talk to people over there. Go talk to people in local anchor parents or South Bay Parents Forum. And like, hey, this is one thing I learned about being a mom. This is something that drove me crazy as a dad when I was 2. Or talk to the crazy dads that are going insane and give them some support, give them some love. You do enough good things, you're a good neighbor, and you're discussing, talking with people there, then people will naturally, yo, who is Jennifer? I want to go hang out with who is Jennifer? Let me click on her profile. Oh my gosh, she's a realtor. We should talk. My cousin's looking to sell a house, right? Or my cousin's looking to move to San Pedro, right? That could be really exciting. So that's something we want to do. Talking. Are you good at just talking? Let's say you're good at talking, but you're not good at talking to camera. Learn to do a voiceover. I could teach that to you in like, I don't know, half an hour or an hour, but you just take lovely videos of houses and things like that. Or you make a video like, I'm sure like if you followed any real estate social media expert, they've probably told you, be the king, be the queen of your town. Hey, these are the 5 best schools in the South Bay, and here's why. And just put a photo up of the 5 best schools, put a photo up of each, and voiceover behind it. This is, that is, these are 3 private schools you might not have heard of if you're new to the area. Here's Chadwick. And this is when it was started. This is what makes it special. Here's this one. Here's that one. Looking for daycare? Here's this. But think about your pain points. Think about your ideal clients. Can you talk about that kind of stuff well? Can you make videos about that kind of stuff well? And the last topic, remixing. It's a little different, but what you can do is you can take headlines. So if you see a great headline that's going on in your industry, think about, are the is mortgage rates going up or down? If there's news about it going down or up, or someone says something about a real estate crash, it doesn't even have to be that reputable, but you just point it out and say, this is BS, right? This guy is totally wrong, and here's why. You can make a video like that, and if you are good at camera, or if you can learn to be good on camera, or comfortable on camera, I wouldn't say great, but good, or comfortable, do a green screen video where you are just talking in front of that article and saying, this is why Forbes is usually right, but today they're wrong, and here's why, right? You do that kind of video, it's super. That is it for the presentation. I'm going to open up for Q&A, but by the way, want the 3 secrets to getting everything you want from social media? Give the platforms what they want. I've got 3 ways to do it. And then drop your name and email in the chat, or email me, ed@supersimplemarketing.net. You'll see more of me. I'll be around. And that's that.
I did provide everyone with your contact information.
Oh, super. Okay.
Yeah, and I can email you their emails as well. Does anyone have any questions? Feel free to unmute.
I will if you give me a minute to shut my door. Hold on.
All good. It's good to see you guys. Where are you all coming in from today?
I'm at the association in Palos Verdes, Rolling Hills.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah, I'm in Torrance. I've been doing social media for about 7, 8 months and not really getting anything from it.
That's cool though. 7, 8 months is a good long time to be on it. And honestly, being on it for 7, 8 and not getting that much from it, it's a lot of people's experience. You're not alone.
The real estate's slow right now anyway.
True, right, right.
So I need to hire a guy like you to get good at it, huh?
I've been goofing off on social media since '06, right? So spent almost 20 years my history with social media, but I started using it for actually trying to get the word out about things. I was in a nonprofit overseas and we used Instagram a lot for that. And then later, actually about that same time, Facebook actually was popular with youth. So we used Facebook then. So it was a combo of Facebook and Instagram, and we used that in 2012 for things. But yeah, the world has shifted and moved on. At the same time, though, I'll tell you this about Instagram. I don't think I really understood Instagram for anything except paid ads for the nonprofit until I would say 2021 when vertical video came and it changed everything. And I paid attention. I bought a course. I sat down and I decided I'm going to make 30 days of 30 videos and just see what happens. Some of those videos really worked. Like at that time, I was able to get 21,000 views on a video. And it was a lot easier 2 years ago than it is right now. But at the same time, did it close business? No, not a single cent. It was the most upsetting things that I could get in like 1 month, close to 100,000 views, and not a single meaningful transaction came out of that for me. But a lot of new like friends, I guess, like, I got a lot of followers. And so that began my adventure in earnest with Instagram, I would say. So I think it's good news though, that although you're not getting the insane reach that you used to get in 2021, 22, it's getting easier if you're not good at video, which I think opens the playing field for a lot more variety of users to get what they want out of Instagram business-wise.
Okay,
But I
that kind of leads
yeah.
to my question.
Oh, okay.
The video thing that
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
says, I need to get my hair cut. I don't look good. I didn't wear the right clothes, blah, blah, whatever.
Right.
Have you heard of the platform? I think it's called Hey Gen, GEN.com.
Yes. Hey, Jen. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Oh my gosh, it's really cool. I met the founders at the LA Marketing Expo last year.
Mhm.
They were the biggest, they're very sweet, but they were so introverted. They were busy coding instead of marketing their thing. Like on their
That's why
laptops
they got
still.
that platform. That's perfect for
Yeah,
introverts.
yeah. I mean, it's perfect though. And to see them use it. And when they present, it's kind of cute because they're more tech guys than like, not like a Steve Jobs tech guy, but more like the technical, like behind the laptop guy. Like
Yeah.
anything. It's
I,
really neat.
I just wasn't sure if
Yeah,
I've watched
it's
some of the demos. They seem good, and it seems like something really great for businesses
yeah,
that don't have the time to be doing videos, where I can just up the avatar and type in whatever it is that needs to be said. Is
yes,
that,
yes.
do you think this is something that is actually a good product for businesses?
I think it's a good product for businesses, but you got to consider use cases.
Mhm.
I would say for real estate, kind of going back to what I said about authenticity,
Mhm.
I think it's really important that it feels like a person. And that's the thing I think HeyGen doesn't quite nail yet, because the longer you watch it,
Mhm.
the more it feels like something might be off. It's kind of
Mhm.
like when we all watched Star Wars 1 for the first time 20 years ago, it felt so real. But if you watch it this year, it looks terrible. And I think our brains are slowly figuring out what's computer and what's not. And even without someone telling you, or being a computer nerd, you can just look at Star Wars 1 now and say, it's computery, right? And I think the same way with HeyGen, that has some things about it where it's AI made video and it looks real at the start, but if you watch a lot of it, you start to get to feeling, this is not a real person. And then it's kind of like, oh, maybe. But if I've seen it used really well for courses. Like took a course on how to use Facebook ads, and honestly, we didn't need a real person to teach us that. And it was also not too long. I think that was also good. If I had to watch that AI person for like 31 hours, I would have gone insane. But watching it for just 90 minutes was tolerable.
Okay.
About 45 minutes in, I'm like, I bet you this isn't a real person. About 55 minutes in, I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's not a real person. I think it's HeyGen.
But I
But
mean, if you didn't get that until 45 minutes, I'm thinking just like 3-minute quick,
True, true. I
quick
think it's
thing.
worth a shot. I think it's worth a shot. One of my clients is he is a CrossFit trainer, and what's really funny for him is he's been doing these AI videos with CapCut, another app.
Mhm.
But I guess if you're not a big tech person, let's just say he's doing videos with AI where the voice is AI, but he takes real video of his gym and puts the voice over his gym. And
Oh,
he just has the AI write the story for him and he posts it. And it's funny because people can't tell. So it's like hiding. It's like if you play poker and you know you have a tell, they call it, right? Learn to disguise your tells. And
oh,
like for him, he's found a perfect way to disguise the tell. Don't make it too obvious by just making it the voice, but putting a real element on it.
okay.
Here's the other thing I have that I think about when I heard what you just said, though. I'm like, like, yes. And I think guys, we don't overthink the appearance as much because society doesn't demand it of us. I think the world is gentler to guys on appearance, which I don't think that's right either, but it is what it is. And I don't think we're able to change that. However, I am saying, when I say authenticity, what I also mean is I think it doesn't matter as much how you look on social media as you used to, especially if you're dropping really valuable information and it feels valuable to the people you're saying it to. Because you'll see a lot of TikTokers, a lot of ladies just, and guys and everyone just sitting in their car, turning on selfie. You won't believe what just happened at Target, right? Kind of video. And that would be like, I can think there's probably equivalents of that for real estate. I'm like, you getting into the car, closing the door. It could be staged, it could be real, but you wouldn't just believe what the buyer just tried to do to us, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. If you're trying to sell your house and then you break into the actual video, that's how you start it. The first 2 seconds are critical because that's your one chance to get people's attention. But start with something like that, slam the door and say, you won't believe what the buyer just tried to do to us today. Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm your local realtor, and I really am here for my sellers. And actually, it's not the first time it's happened. And here's the situation. We came in, then you tell the rest of the story, but you tell also the value you give and also tips for anyone that's trying to sell their home. Takeaway is this: follow me if you want more. And we're gonna get this sold at our price. So
Okay, I like that. Okay, one more question. I have more, but I'll just do one. The $44 pay to play for Instagram, is that a whole meta thing? Like it's going to cover Facebook too? Or is it
it
just Instagram help?
I was just looking at it again, and I feel like it changed since the last time I look at it, which is not a good sign to me, at least. So I'm like, I thought we were getting reach, but now you're giving us searchability, findability. What does that even mean? It's awfully convenient that it's described so vaguely. Like, and what I do know it will mean is it has to do with the search bar. And if someone types in something in search, you'll show up closer to the top, or kind of like Yelp or Google Ads, you'll show up at the top because you're paid.
Okay.
But as for how valuable that will be, it's hard for me to say. The offer that it gave me is a little different because I have my Facebook. I do have Facebook and I have Instagram. It offered me a package deal. Oh, for 2 different Instagram accounts though.
Oh,
I have Ed Oyama, which is mostly family pictures, and I'm thinking of one day making it more of a personal brand style thing, just in case I move out of marketing 20 years from now, or I do a new thing besides marketing, just to have my face saying things that aren't marketing focused. But then I have super simple marketing on Instagram. And it offered me both for $29 or $24, $25 as opposed to $30 a month. Because I think might have said it during the presentation, but if not, there still is a $15 a month tier just for a real human being picking up the phone when you have trouble logging into your account, which kind of stinks. I get it.
I appreciate it's there. We've been working on ours, on the back end of ours, and like business portfolio wise, and we
Oh,
have gone round and round and round for weeks with them now. And the
yeah.
last thing we got was we actually don't really support this kind of issue. We support the advertising.
That's terrible, but not surprising.
This is after asking for articles of incorporation, driver's license. I mean, every,
All of that, that's terrible.
dang it, I was hoping you would be the savior.
Yeah.
That's okay. We'll figure it out.
It's fair. So like on the one, the two ways to look at this is like, I can't believe that one, I can't believe they're making us pay for customer support, but two, oh, thank goodness they finally have customer support
Yeah.
because they never have. They've never been able to afford it. So I guess we're paying $15 a month for the person to pick up the phone, check their database and say, oh, okay, yeah, we can get you logged back in, no problem.
Yeah.
Are,
It's
are any
wonderful.
real estate agents getting business from social media?
Yes. The ones that are better known, they tend to be really flashy with it, but there's a lot of them that aren't necessarily well known that are getting good results too. I don't know if, let me see if I can share screen again and show you some stuff. That would be cool. YouTube.com. So if you want to do YouTube, by the way, one course, besides talking with me, but the course that I always recommend people is Video Ranking Academy. It's like about $1,000 for what it is. I feel like it's pretty affordable course wise if you're really, but it is a commitment. You're gonna spend probably 15 to 20 hours learning about YouTube if you get into the course, but they do break it down. It's one of the best courses I've ever bought. They're just really terrific educators. And they do it in a really engaging and easy to follow way, which surprised me because I thought Google was really complicated. YouTube is a Google product. I didn't realize it was that simple, but let me just search up. All right, I'll just share with you what my YouTube homepage looks like too. You'll see what kind of variety of stuff shows up in my feed. All right, here we are. Let's see here. Copywriting tips, a game, a Billie Eilish video, coach builder. Cool. So here's what you do. Think media and real estate. So Think Media is the company that makes Video Ranking Academy, but they did an interview a while back with a couple real estate agents. But the real estate strategy was actually really simple. I could break down their strategy, which was one, make videos about features of the town. They were in Texas, I believe, but they just talked about the features of the town. Like, hey, these are the 3 best coffee shops in this neighborhood. Here's, I guess our equivalent will be, here's 3 great coffee shops in Lomita that you should know about in town. Hey, here's what's going on with the school district, if you're a school district nerd and you know a lot about what's going on. Here's what happened at the last city meeting in Palos Verdes, except in just 3 minutes. And I'm going to make it fun and interesting to watch, right? Because those meetings go on forever. But they made videos about the town. They made videos about general good real estate practices, good tips. Here's 3 reasons you shouldn't try to sell your house yourself. There's a lot of books, there's a lot of videos saying you can, and I'm not saying you can't, but here's 3 things you might be missing out on. And like, it's going to take a lot longer than you think. It's going to be a lot lower than you think price-wise, blah, blah, blah. And then on top of that, if you have a particular niche that you're good at, so say you're good at senior real estate, say you're good at real estate investments for who, you make topics based on very tightly niche to who you serve best. And if you don't have a niche, that's okay. Play with your niche, make videos and see if any of them hit and see how much you really like talking about it. That's the general best advice for if you don't know what your niche is. That's a great way to get in. But yeah. I mean, a lot of the realtors that got a lot done on social media, incidentally, they're also the ones selling you the courses. Right. So who is the one? Kristen Mayshore? Actually, I really do like the videos that I've seen of her on the marketing side of things. And I'm not sure if she had what she'll have if we go to her channel. Yeah, see, now that she's marketing to realtors, the strategy's changed. 10 clever tips to be a top real estate agent your first year. But what people do with their titles is really, really important. No, I'll just freestyle a bit, but the most important part of your videos on YouTube is actually this and this. Not this intro, but what's this graphic here before they click in? Does it make people want to click it? Because the way you storytell even in your pictures is really key. I bet you she's probably got some good case studies though, because she wants to show you how her clients are doing on social media, of course. But I do think at least what she was saying back in 2021, when I first came across her, I really liked her approach. And what she was really good at is building a landing page just for people that go to her videos. But she is, if I'm not mistaken, pretty expensive now to work with. So I feel like it's not for newer realtors. And if you know your game and your pipeline really well and you want to build it bigger, stronger, I think she might be a good person to talk to about that. But if you're new to social media, I'm not sure if she's your best first move these days. Yeah, but that's that in a nutshell. There's a lot of funny things, like if you're really good at being entertaining, there's this realtor up in Fresno that I follow where he just raps. It's this craziest thing. But he takes an old rap song and he gets the karaoke version with no lyrics, and he just raps about real estate, raps about mortgage rates, raps about like the real estate game, like he's like the hip hop game, and he just goes off. It's the funniest thing, but he's a fun follow. But and then there's like an older there's an older Caucasian guy who has 3 sons and they're all in real estate, and they just post videos of themselves pranking each other. And it's funny. And then they'll post about real estate too. It's like, oh, that's funny. We're a team, by the way. We're the most fun team in, I don't know where they are, Minnesota or something like that. So come to us if you want to get it sold and have a good time while you're doing it. I'm like, that's clever. Very cool. All right. Well,
Okay, thanks a lot.
my pleasure. My pleasure.
Yes. Thank you, Ed. Any other questions before we wrap it up? No. I don't think
That's
so.
great.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next one.
Thank you.
I
Yes, thank you so much for
coming out.
everything. Love the
Yeah.
energy, by the way.
Oh, fantastic. I'm
Yeah.
so happy to be here with you today.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you so much, Ed.
All right, I'm gonna try and save the chat because this was cool.
If not, we can get it to you.
Oh, okay, awesome, awesome. Thanks a ton.
Yep, yep, yep.
All right. All right. Well, thank you so much, and we will be in touch until next time.
Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, you too.
Bye.